You're finally retired. Your working years are now behind you. Every month, $2,000 arrives in your bank account. But is it enough to retire the way you imagined in the US? Then somebody tells you you should look at Cuenca, Ecuador. Now, maybe you have heard it's affordable. Maybe you have heard it's beautiful and have a nice weather. Maybe you have heard people living comfortably over there. But here's what bothered you. Those are just words. What does comfortable actually look like? Is it a place you genuinely enjoy waking up in every morning? Or is it simply a compromise because it's inexpensive? So today, I put up real rental listings in Ecuador and I started asking myself one question. If this were my retirement, would I actually want to live here? We are going apartment shopping together to find out what kind of retirement home a $2,000 monthly income you can get realistically. I have a feeling the answer is not what most people expect. One of the biggest mistakes people make, whether they are retiring in the US or abroad, is falling in love with a home they technically cannot afford. A common guideline you will hear from financial planners is the 30% rule. The idea is simple. Keep your housing cost at below 30% of your monthly income. If you're receiving $2,000 a month, that works out to about $600 per month for rent. Now, is that a hard rule? No. Some retirees might feel comfortable spending a little more, especially if they have savings or other income. Others might need to spend less to have more financial breathing room for expensive medical bills or other unexpected costs. For today's experiment, though, I'm going to treat the 30% rule as our guide. So here's the challenge. Can we find a home around $600 a month that doesn't feel like we are settling? Let's go. Apartment 1. Honestly, my first impression is pretty positive. This apartment rents for $595 a month, and remember earlier we talked about the 30% rule. If you are living on a $2,000 monthly retirement income, your housing budget would ideally be around $600 a month. The apartment is about 883 square feet or 82 square meters for a retired couple. I think that's a really comfortable size. It's large enough that you won't feel cramped, but not so large that you are spending your retirement cleaning rooms you hardly ever use. One thing that immediately caught my attention is that it's on the third floor, but there's an elevator. An elevator can make a huge difference if you are carrying groceries or dealing with a sore knee. Trust me, I used to live in a NYC apartment on the fourth floor without an elevator, and I'm winded every single time from carrying my groceries. I really like that it has 2 bedrooms and each one has its own bathroom. Really important at night when you really need to take a leak. Even if it's just the two of you for most of the year, having a second bedroom means friends, children, or grandkids can come visit without everyone feeling that they're living on top of each other. And even if you don't expect many overnight guests, the second bedroom could easily become a hobby room, reading room, or even a home office. The kitchen isn't extravagant, but it looked modern, functional, and fully equipped. You've got granite countertops, plenty of cabinet space, and it's fully equipped with the appliances you would expect. If you enjoy cooking at home a few nights a week, I think this kitchen would do the job just fine. One detail I almost overlooked is the mountain view towards Turi from the bedrooms. That's one of those features you don't necessarily think about when you're reading a listing, but imagine opening your curtains in the morning and seeing the mountains while you have your first cup of coffee. Little things like this really adds to your quality of life. The listing also mentions it is in one of Cuenca's more accessible neighborhoods, with shopping, public transportation, and everyday essentials nearby. Whenever I see a description like this, I want to verify exactly what within walking distance means. Is there a grocery store 5 minutes away? Can I walk to a pharmacy? How close is the nearest cafe? Those are the questions I would ask. But assuming the location lives up to the description, that's a big plus, especially if your goal is to live comfortably without depending on a car. So, would I rent this apartment if I were retiring in Ecuador on a $2,000 monthly income? I actually would. Not because it's the fanciest apartment we'll look at today, but because it checks a lot of boxes that matter most in retirement. It's within our target budget. The monthly HOA fee is included in the rent. It has an elevator. It is fully furnished. There's enough space for guests, and it appears to be in a convenient location. To me, that is a strong combination. This one does have a few things I would like to point out. First, pets are not allowed in this building. Now, if you don't have a dog or a cat, that may not matter at all, but for many retirees, a pet is part of your family. If you're planning to move to Ecuador with your furry companion, or even thinking of getting one later, this apartment probably isn't going to be a right fit. The other thing to keep in mind is that utilities aren't included in the rent. So while the monthly rent is $595, that's not your total housing cost. You will also need to budget for things like electricity, internet, gas, and water. It will probably be an additional $50 to $75 depending on what's covered by the landlord. The good news is that utility costs in Ecuador are generally much lower than that in the US, but they're still part of your monthly budget. So it's important to factor them in before deciding if an apartment fits comfortably within your retirement income. Neither of those would necessarily stop me from considering this apartment, but they are definitely things I would want to know before signing a lease. I'll give this apartment an 8.8 out of 10. I would like to walk around this neighborhood before making a final decision. This apartment is perfect for a retired couple or even a single retiree who wants to be closer to the heart of Cuenca, values convenience and walkability, and is looking for a comfortable, low-maintenance home without stretching their budget. If you don't have pets, appreciate features like an elevator and mountain views, and want a place that is easy to settle into from day one, I think this apartment would be an excellent fit. Apartment 2. This apartment rent for just $500 a month, including the HOA fees. So right away, we are already actually under our target budget based on that 30% rule. At $500, that leaves you another $100 every month that could go towards dining out, weekend trips, or simply building a little extra financial cushion. The first thing I noticed is the size. This apartment has 3 bedrooms and 2 full bathrooms. If it's just 1 or 2 person living here, do you need 3 bedrooms? Probably not. But retirement has a funny way of bringing family to visit. Maybe your children come down for Christmas. Maybe your grandkids stay for a week during summer vacation. Having that extra space can be a real luxury without paying luxury prices. What really surprised me though isn't the apartment itself. It was everything that comes with the building. You have got 24-hour security, a concierge, an elevator, a gym, a community room, even a shared park and barbecue area. That's starting to feel less like an apartment building and more like a lifestyle. Especially if it is the first time you're moving to Cuenca, the 24-hour security gives you an additional peace of mind. Another thing that some viewers are going to appreciate is that pets are allowed. If you have been watching apartment listings for a while, you would know that that's not always the case. Many retirees moving abroad without their dog or cat simply isn't an option. So that's definitely a point in this apartment's favor. Let's talk about the biggest trade-off. This apartment is about 20 minutes away from Cuenca's historic city center. For some people, that's going to be a deal breaker. They want to walk out of the front door and be surrounded by cafes, restaurants, and the energy of the downtown. Though this apartment is about a 5 minutes car ride to the 2 biggest supermarkets, Supermaxi and Cora, others may actually prefer being a little further away. You often get a quieter neighborhood, more space, and better value for your money. So it really comes down to the lifestyle you are looking for. One thing I do like is that there's a short walk to the tram station. That's important because if you don't plan to own a car, having reliable public transport nearby can make a huge difference. Instead of thinking, I'm 20 minutes from downtown, I'll be asking, how easy is it to get there? Those are two very different questions. One thing we haven't talked about yet is that this apartment is unfurnished. If you are planning to bring your own furniture, artwork, or personal belongings, this could actually be a big advantage. You get to make the space feel like your home instead of living with somebody else's style and furniture. On the other hand, if you're hoping to arrive in Ecuador with just a few suitcases and start enjoying retirement right away, then furnishing an entire apartment can mean extra time and effort and upfront expenses. It's not necessarily a deal breaker, but it's something you want to factor into your moving budget and timeline. Would I rent this apartment? Honestly, I think I would seriously consider it. You're getting an apartment with a lot of amenities, and you're still living comfortably within our retirement budget. If your dream retirement is spending every afternoon walking through the historic center, this might not be your first choice. But if you value space, security, and modern conveniences, and you don't mind a short tram ride into town, I think this apartment offers excellent value. I would give this one a 9 out of 10. This apartment is perfect for a retired couple who enjoys a quieter lifestyle, wants modern amenities like an elevator and security as a pet, and doesn't mind taking the tram into downtown when they want to enjoy the restaurants and cafes. If that's you, I think this apartment deserves a spot near the top of the list. Something has stood out to me so far. These apartments don't feel inexpensive. That's an important distinction. I think many Americans picture overseas retirement as giving something up. Smaller spaces, lower standards, fewer conveniences. What I'm seeing instead is that the value equation changes. You're not necessarily lowering your expectations. You're often getting more for the same money than you could back home. This one rents for $550 a month, which means we're still comfortably within our target housing budget based on a $2,000 monthly retirement income. So financially, it's off to a good start. But what immediately stands out isn't the price. It's the location. This apartment is located just 1 block away from Parque San Sebastian, one of Cuenca's most charming historic neighborhoods. If you have spent any time researching Cuenca, you know that being able to walk to cafes, restaurants, local markets, and the city historic center is one of the biggest reasons why many retirees fall in love with living here. For someone who enjoyed a more walkable lifestyle, this location is a major advantage. This condo has been fully renovated. The design feels bright, clean, and modern without losing the charm of being in the historic part of the city. One thing I really appreciate is all the natural light coming through the lounge windows. That makes a huge difference because natural light can make a smaller space feels much more open and inviting. And speaking of size, this is the smallest apartment we have looked at so far. It's about 65 square meters. Now, for some retirees, that's going to feel just right. This is a 1-bedroom apartment, so it's definitely better suited for a single retiree or a couple who would rather spend their days exploring Cuenca than maintaining a large home. This could actually be the perfect size. But if you are regularly hosting family, having grandchildren visits for extended stays, or simply enjoy having extra room, you might find this apartment a little limiting. But the bedroom looks spacious, there's plenty of storage, and the bathroom has a walk-in shower, which is a practical feature that many retirees will appreciate. It is fully furnished, and the kitchen is equipped. If you're planning to move to Ecuador with just a few suitcases, this makes the transition much easier. Instead of spending the first few weeks shopping for furniture and household essentials, you can focus on settling down into your new community. The rent also includes fiber optics internet, which is a nice bonus. If you like staying connected with family back in the US, streaming movies, or making video calls, that's one less bill to think about each month. The building itself also has a few nice touches. Security security cameras, electronic entry, and there's even a shared rooftop terrace with views over the city. That's the kind of space I could imagine sitting with a cup of coffee in the morning or watching the sunset in the evening. So, would I rent this apartment? I think I would, if my priority was location. Being able to walk to restaurants, markets, parks, and so much of what makes Cuenca special has real value. You are giving up some space compared to the other apartments, but in return, you're getting one of the city's most desirable lifestyles. I would give this apartment an 8.9 out of 10. This apartment is perfect for a single retiree or a couple who wants to be immersed into the heart of Cuenca. If you love the idea of walking to cafes, restaurants, parks, and local markets, and you prefer a low-maintenance home over extra space, this could be an excellent fit. It's ideal for someone who values experiences and location more than having a large apartment. Before making this video, I thought this was going to be about apartments, but somewhere along the way, I realized it isn't. It's about choices. Retirement isn't won by finding the most expensive apartment you can afford. And it isn't won by finding the cheapest one either. It's about finding the place that let you enjoy the life you have worked so hard to create. Looking through these listings, I don't think the biggest surprise was the monthly rent. It was realizing that a thoughtful housing choice can leave room in your budget that make retirement meaningful. Coffee with friends, weekend trips, hobbies, and the freedom to say yes without constantly checking your bank account. I would love to hear from you which apartment felt most like home. Or if none of this fit, what would you be looking for in your ideal retirement home in Ecuador? Let me know in the comments. I read every one of them. And in the next video, we will look at another place of the retirement puzzle, because housing is only one part of the story. The real question is how to build a retirement that is comfortable, sustainable, and enjoyable. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.